Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee with NOS-130. I'm going to go ahead and go over lab for lessons 10 and 11, which is setting up Dhcp role on server 2012 and doing IP addressing for that network. Right? Logged into NetLabs. I'm going to do a reservation, which I already set up for an hour and 12 minutes. Click that. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is make sure all these clients and servers are up, alright, which they are. Go ahead and log in everything. The default. Oh, if I can spell it right. Alright, that one's in. This one. That one. Let's do server, which I do Control Alt Delete. Alright, and then finally server 2016. Alright, so everything's up. Alright, so right now all these computers have static IP addresses. Like server 2016, it has 192.168.30.4. This one has 30.3. Come on. Alright, 30.3. Do IP config all. Alright, this one is 30.1 right there. Or, I'm sorry, not 30.1, 30.5 right here. Alright, and then client 2. I can spell, that helps out. Alright, this one's 192.168.30.2. You see also default gateway 192.168.30.1. Let's see what else we got here. That should be about it. Alright, let's go ahead and go over to server 2012. What do we want to do first? Now, I want to set up Dhcp scope, which is going to be 192.168.30.1 through 30.254. Alright, and I'm going to exclude 30.1, which is my default gateway, 30.3, which is server 2012, and 30.4, which is server 2016. Alright, so I just need to know that. All my servers and default gateways, I don't want those to change. I want those to stay static. First thing I want to do is go up here to Manage, Add Roles and Features. Alright, make sure it's on server 2012. I'm going to add the Dhcp role, add features, click install. Alright, while that's doing that, what you can do, just to save a little time, go over here. You want to go to File Explorer, right click Network, Properties, go to Ethernet, Properties, and then Internet Protocol version 4, Properties. See how it has a statically assigned IP address? You want to make that automatic, and then also the DNS server, obtain a DNS server address automatically. Dhcp is going to assign those both to that computer. Alright, click Close, pull that stuff up, go over here, do the same thing, right click Network, Ethernet 0, whoop, not that, this, alright, automatic, alright, and let's go ahead and just minimize all, or close all that stuff down. Let's go over here, close all this down. Alright, so we know what our IP address information was right there. Alright, so installation is complete. We're going to do some post-installation configuration stuff. Close that down. We see under notifications there's a triangle with an exclamation point in it. So click that. Alright, complete Dhcp configuration. Following steps will be performed to complete the configuration of the DHCP server on the target computer. Create the following security groups for delegation of DHCP server administration. It's going to set up a DHCP administrators group and DHCP users. Click commit. Alright, please restart the DHCP server service on the target computer for the security groups to be effective. So do that first. See how I have a new role right here? DHCP. Right click right there, DHCP manager. Maximize that. Alright, so I can kind of like maximize everything on the left column, make it a little bit bigger. Alright, so I can right click there, and let's see, I always have a problem finding this. Let's see, properties, no. Alright, all tasks for that DHCP server I'm going to restart, and the restart has started. You see how it's turned off, got a red X. Alright, coming back up, has a red arrow facing down with a inside of a circle. Alright, click that. Those are up now. We're not going to do IP version 6 right now, but IP version 4. Alright, click on that. Alright, we're going to add a scope. Right click, new scope. Okay. And then your scope is going to be your 3 initials, lesson 11 scope. Alright, that should be the name of it. Okay. Just making notes. Alright. Alright, so configuration settings for the DHCP server. Alright, our entire range of our network is going to be 192.168.30. First usable address in our network is going to be 1. Last usable address is going to be 192.168.30.254. That's being said because 255 is our last IP address in that network, but that's for broadcast, and then 192.168.30.0 is the network address, so we can't use those. Alright, looking down here, the default length is 24 bits for the network. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. You can adjust that if you need more IP addresses or less. Alright, but we're going to leave it at 24, and that'd be the same thing as your CIDR. Alright, so just make sure that's correct. Alright, now we're going to exclude certain IP addresses. What we want to do is we want to do 30.1, 30.3, and 30.4 are going to be excluded. So if we do 192.168, 30. Let's do 3 and 4 first. .4. Add those. Alright, so that range has been added. 168, 30. Alright, we also need .1 for our default gateway. Just type the same thing in twice. Hopefully it doesn't give me an error. Add that. Alright, so address .1, and then the range through 192.168.30.3 to 30.4. You can probably be safe if you do 192.168.30.1 through 192.168.30.4. And if y'all have another server IP address that you need, it'll be excluded through there also. Alright, if you wanted to set the subnet delay, which is right here. Delay is the time duration by which the server will delay the transmission of a DHCP offer message. Set that. All right, lease duration. We'll leave that set to 8 days. That's fine. All right. When clients obtain an IP address, they are given DHCP options such as the IP address of routers, DNS servers, and WIN settings for that scope. Okay, so we're going to say that server 2016 is our DNS server, even though it doesn't have a DNS role right now. That's fine. And our default gateway is going to be 30.1. Okay, so do you want to configure the DHCP options for the scope now? Yes. All right. All right, so router default gateway, that's normally your access to the internet. So 192.168.30.1. All right, and you can add, you can change that if you need to. All right, let's do next. All right, parent domain. This is going to be your three initials, which mine is NTM. Lesson11.local. That's my parent domain. All right. To configure scope clients to use DNS servers on the network, enter the IP address for those servers. All right, so we're going to say our server 2016 machine is going to be our DNS server. So 192.168.254. I'm sorry, 30.4. All right. Don't need to resolve that because I put in the IP address. So there's our IP address right there. Add that. It's going to check with our server 2016 machine to see if it has a DNS server role on it. It doesn't. So in this case, it really didn't matter. But normally you install your DNS, set up your DNS server first. All right. So it didn't find a valid DNS address. I still want to add it. WIN servers, this is basically inner server IP address information here enables Windows clients to query WINs before they use broadcast to register and resolve NetBIOS names. So these convert NetBIOS computer names to IP addresses. All right, we're not going to do that for this, so I'm just going to click next. Do you want to activate this scope now? Yes, please. Click finish. All right, so there's my scope right there. All right, that's my network ID. So if I click on this and see what happens, address pool is going to be 30.1 through 30.254. IP addresses excluded 30.3, 30.4, and 30.1. All right, IP address releases. All right, it's already got one from 30.2, which is right here, our Win10 Education 2. All right, if we hit refresh, our first client should show up fairly soon also. And you can speed up the process by doing IP config renew to renew the IP address information, or the reservation rather. All right, so there it is. It actually picked up 30.5. There's my DNS suffix right there. Default gateway, subnet mask. So we should be good to go. It should show up both reservations now. Refresh it. There we go. So if you see, this might look a little funky, but since I've only excluded 30.1, 30.3, and 30.4, the first IP address that it was available was 30.2. That's fine. And then the next one is 30.5. So that's good to go. All right. So really, that's really all you need to do for this. What you need to submit for the lab is, let's do a control print screen. Bring up Word. Like this. Okay, one picture of that scope. There you go, right there. And then also I want a screenshot of this right here. I want to see the actual scope. I know that there's scopes right there, and that's your network ID, but I want to see the scope name too. So if you can do all that, well, print screen, that would be a better screenshot. I don't really care how many screenshots you send me, just make sure everything's in there. All right, so I take that, do a little cropping. All right, crop that out maybe a little bit here. All right, click and make it bigger. All right, so that's cool. Got my two PCs with IP addresses dynamically assigned by Dhcp. I've got my scope set up for the 192.168.30.0 network, and my scope name is NTM Lesson 11 Scope. All right, so we're good to go. Submit that screenshot, and that's all you need. All right, thanks for watching.